Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, Chipata and Nakonde, Kazungula, Mongu, Luwingu, Kacholola, everywhere. Good evening. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Elias Munsha, and as usual, I am with my co-host, Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, also known as General. General, welcome to our broadcast today.
Good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, Mongo. Good evening, Kalabo. Good evening, Kasama. Good evening, Luwingu. And I think good evening, Siavonga, my favorite place. Good evening from Scotland. And I know the last 3 days have been a time of reflection for me because I think I was broken on Thursday, but I'm recovering. That's what I can say. Good evening to you, Zambians everywhere. And thank you for tuning in today.
I think when you speak about being broken, you really speak for many of us. You see, for me, I've been a critic of the Kaunda presidency, and but I never imagined that his death would affect me in the way it did, you know? And I don't think I've stopped being a critic of the policies of the particularly the Second Republic. I think I still continue to be a critic. But on the other hand, I just realized that he was like a cover over a nation. And then that cover gets taken away, and you feel vulnerable, so vulnerable. That's how I felt for me.
For me, I think my reaction on Thursday has been validated by the reaction of the countries around us, South Africa especially, Namibia, right. Botswana, Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe itself, that this was not just an ordinary man. I said on Thursday, he was not an angel, but this man was a father of he is a father of our country. This man was an African hero, a Pan-Africanist. Right. And this man, the pictures I've seen these past 3, 4, 5 days of him meeting all the presidents of this world, you know, American presidents, Russian. I haven't seen a picture of Tito. I haven't seen a picture of him with Chairman Mao, Chairman Zhou Enlai of China. I haven't seen a picture of him with the Mahatma Gandhi or any of the Gandhis. But this was a statesman. This was an international statesman.
Right.
So that is what I've been appreciating in the last few days. And what I also appreciate most is this little man called Norman Chipakpaku has a little something which he learned from this man, this national hero. You know, the last few days I've been reflecting about the certain things, and it's so exciting. I think I'll write a good book now. Because now I've got a full stop about Kaunda. It's not a full stop, but I think it's a very big comma. Right. That's my reflection, Musha. I was broken on Thursday, but I think I now appreciate what this man has done for our country, what he's done for our continent, and we should accept it that we can't live forever.
Right. I think that's the stages of grief. Psychologists say the stages of grief. And so Thursday, when the news broke, we were extremely heartbroken. President Hakainde Hichilema, in fact, suspended the campaigns for his party because he wanted to see what's going on. But I think one of the speeches that have really touched me is Ramaphosa's speech.
Yeah.
It was like 5 minutes, but 5 minutes of substance after substance. And it was delivered just a day after the passing of President Kaunda. And so that was pretty amazing for our viewers. If you've not yet done so, go and listen to Ramaphosa's speech. Amazing, where he announces 10 days of national mourning. He announces the kind of sacrifice that Kenneth Kaunda did, the fact that the people of Zambia were at the forefront of the liberation struggle. Amazing story. You're listening to it and you're thinking, wow, there is something there.
And to our viewers, this is the man who never came out in exile. Ramaphosa was never in exile. Ramaphosa was fighting within. He was the leader of the trade union movement in South Africa.
Right.
And we should also listen to Thabo Mbeki. Thabo Mbeki was in Lusaka.
Right.
With all the leaders of the ANC were in Lusaka. But that speech by Ramaphosa, who never was in exile, but was fighting within South Africa, really touched me. But those who didn't listen to Thabo Mbeki's speech as well, listen to Thabo Mbeki's speech. Listen to what Thabo Mbeki said about his life in Lusaka.
Right.
Listen to how Thabo Mbeki mentioned about a New Zealander guy. We came to bomb him using, wanted to bomb his car and kill him. And he was arrested. I remember that story very well. Sentence at Kaunda said, look, New Zealand is fighting with us. Let's release this fellow. But, that's how this man, Kaunda, was respected. I don't know what, I didn't listen to what the Zimbabwean president said. But this is the president of Zimbabwe, grew up in Zambia, remember, you guys. He grew up in my own home in Mumbwa.
Right.
So these are heroes praising one of the biggest heroes of Africa.
Right. Okay, so now, you've mentioned the Zimbabwean leader, and so he started with 3 days and then increased the 3 days to 2 weeks. I found that to be quite hilarious and confusing.
Yeah. No. The issue here is that our people should know this. When we're supporting Zimbabwe, our favorite guy was Nkomo. And what happened was, I will tell you the story so that our viewers understand this.
Right.
When these Zimbabweans were in Zambia, there were two groups, Nkomo's Zipra forces and Mugabe's forces. Then they started fighting amongst themselves. And they went in Chirenge and planted a bomb. Tongogara guy went and planted a bomb, and which killed Herbert Stepo. And Kaunda was very, very upset about that. They killed each other in Lusaka and in Chirenge. And he ordered us to arrest Tongogara's men. And there was a commission which was brought in to find out how Herbert Stepo. And Mugabe was not happy. I want to reveal a secret, which I think I've never said to a lot of people. I was the person who arrested Tongogara in Minga, in the Eastern Province, when he was running into Mozambique, trying to run away from the death of Herbert Stepo.
You cornered him. Now, how did you corner him, General? Did you run after him? Obviously,
no, it will be in my book, but the guy, they murdered Herbert Stepo in Lusaka, tried to drive through Eastern Province. Their aim was to cross into Mozambique. We got him at Minga. Minga stop. Those were from Eastern Province. It's between Nyimba and Sinda. Minga and Minga, there's a place somewhere there where we got Tongogara. And we got him there, flew him back to Lusaka for him to face the charges he faced.
Right.
So our favorite guy was Joshua Nkomo.
Right.
So then they ran away into Mozambique. All their troops went into Mozambique. Some of them went to Tanzania, but we remained with Nkomo. So the problem was during the independence, when they went back to bring the troops back, when Mugabe won and bring them back, was what role was Nkomo going to play? Because Mugabe won the elections. But before, a few days before they won the elections, or when they went back, Tongogara was killed in Mozambique. Another very mysterious story. How did Tongogara get killed in Mozambique? He didn't even see the independence of Zimbabwe. So there's a very big story about why Zambia was favoring Nkomo. Because he was one person who was listening. And I think that friendship between Nkomo and Kaunda always remains. And that sort of bittersweet taste, sour taste between Mugabe and KK remained. And I wouldn't be surprised that ZANU announced a few days first, and then they said, no, I think this is wrong. Let's increase it.
From 3 days to 14 days. But those are the dynamics that some people may not really understand. But I think Mnangagwa might have reflected on it and said, I've made a huge mistake. 3 days is not enough. Let me push it over to 14 days. And of course, it goes on the other side. But apart from that, so we've seen tributes pouring in. And today we are a little bit upbeat, General, because Pafwa, bantu, pashala, bantu. I think the most shocking moments of any death are the minutes, the first minutes, the few hours. You know, those are the first moments. And I'm happy that we came online immediately it happened, General.
Yeah,
we did not say, no, we are going to hide our grief. We came and we grieved right here on TV Bakwetu. Together with our...
To be very honest with you, that was the most difficult interview I've ever done in my life. It was difficult. I was trying to control my emotions, but everybody saw through. You know, I'm one person who's always strong, but that day I was broken. I was really, really broken.
Right.
And what broke me the most is this handkerchief, which is next to me here. Seeing this man's signature in this handkerchief here, and saying to myself, I wish I'd spoken to him before he died. I did speak to him 2 weeks before he died, but that day I was not ready for it. I was just broken. Yeah. So the pouring of this emotion throughout the world, the photographs I've seen of him shaking hands with Reagan, with all these presidents, you know, receiving Mandela after being released from prison, they have calmed me down and saying, look, Kaunda, you did your job. Kaunda, you made our country proud. You know, it was really such an honor for people like me to have met this man.
Yeah. So we need to now move back a little bit to the first moments after the passing of Kenneth Kaunda. Now, I know that you probably have some information that I don't want to be privy to, because here, even if we are running this project together, General, we are two very different individuals. We think differently.
I think we all think differently, and that's the beauty about the whole thing. You need to have variety, and at the same time, you need to have a lawyer and to have a soldier as well, and so that, you know, our thinking is different, but we also share one common thing. I think we have got the courage to say things as they are.
Right. I think that's one of the things.
That's the beauty about the whole thing. I think those of you have been following me, Munsha. On the last few days, I've made my position very, very clear about what I think should happen.
Right. Now, before we go there, I just want to acknowledge that what happened on the day President Kaunda passed away, we came on TV Bakwetu, but we were also very emphatic on what we think was wrongly done by the Lungu administration. General, we did not beat around the bush.
No.
We did say that ZNBC had the tapes to play, and they would have switched on the tapes immediately they heard that Kenneth Kaunda had passed away, but they couldn't. And we did not beat about the bush condemning ZNBC. We said the problem was with who, General?
Of course, the president was with the commander-in-chief and the president. You know, up to now, Munsha, I will say this. I don't understand Mr. Lungu. Limbi, why does he fear funerals so much? I don't understand. Anything to do with a funeral, he doesn't come out. I don't understand how a president can fail to appear and speak to his people about a funeral. Why is he afraid? Why is he afraid of a funeral? It's only today that I've seen the vice president speak. Why is Mr. Lungu, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, afraid of funerals? I don't know. I don't understand it. You never know. You know, I mean, why?
General, we are not even talking about a huge funeral thing. A 1 or 2 minute statement to speak and comfort the people of Zambia. Is it Chidiro to speak for 1 minute?
I don't understand it. Even when he went to visit the family house, he was not himself. I saw him talking to Panji. You could see Panji is mourning, but you are showing, Panji was showing his true character. The laugh I heard of Panji was Panji's laugh, showing himself.
Right.
Okay? But not of the president. I couldn't even hear what he was saying. I didn't even see, I didn't see the emotions in him. No, I didn't see that. And what type of a person is like that? I mean, I don't understand.
He moves with a microphone, though. The president moves with a microphone all the time. So ZNBC could not capture any of the moments at all of him addressing the people, addressing the nation about his funeral, no?
No, I think it's not his style. And from what I've concluded, he doesn't do funerals. That's why I'm saying, let me fish him, but I don't know. Because, president would have been talking about this man. The things he thinks about Kaunda, how great or bad this man was, how, the people who are speaking on our behalf of the South Africans.
Yeah.
Ramaphosa
Ramaphosa is the one speaking, Thabo Mbeki is the one speaking. From the two leaders, it's only today, I think, Nilson Bantu, we told them on Thursday to say, if President Lungu is too busy, busy, why can't the vice president? Because even when you're vice president, even got busy, I'm the one who is going to address the nation and comfort the people. Right?
Yeah. I say President Lungu is the commander-in-chief and is supposed to be the mourner-in-chief.
Right. It's true.
But both roles he has failed. He has failed as commander-in-chief in a big way. He has failed in his role as mourner-in-chief in a big way.
Number General, Tamoi Mwene handwriting. If he can't speak, at least he can write. Tamoi Mwene.
Nali Mona message Kaunda, a person who has gone, say, dear KK. I mean, that is crazy. Whoever is advising this man is who's advising him, because that message should have been drafted for him, or he should not about it. I didn't know what to write in that book. Because for me, I would have written to the greatest president, the founder of this nation, we appreciate the work you have done for our country, and we will remember you with one Zambia, one nation. That's what I would have written. But look at, read what he wrote. I don't understand him. I really don't.
Abantu because of the handwriting.
No, it's not the handwriting. It's the message, which is important. Those who went to Catholic churches, who went through a Catholic school, they always have very good handwriting. But it's what the message of what he has written, what is important to me.
Yeah, I want in. But Thursday, Tuale Losha, Nombare Lo, Natwisur, Nen Sekomlandu Akwevati, we've now come into terms with the passing of the founding father. And so this is another tribute to Kenneth David Buchizia.
Kaunda. Yeah.
KK.
Yeah.
Anyway, so today the vice president was addressing the country 4 days after the fact. For 4 days. Anyway, General, maybe we should just not talk about this. Is it possible? Are we wrong to be talking about the wrongs of the PF administration while we are mourning Kenneth Kaunda?
No. President Lungu is still the president of Zambia, and Boy Nonge is still a vice president. Okay,
right.
And they are still using taxpayers' money. They are still flying in a taxpayers-funded jets. We have the right to speak about them. And for me, it's a disgrace for them to speak about Kaunda 4 days after, and in a manner which is does. It was disgusting to see the way they've been behaving. The truth is that they've been campaigning.
Right.
PF have been campaigning all along.
Kwali Volwimbo by Glorious Band of Chiwempala. ati nishindelorera kwati vakabwera nachipona vaya here, meaning he's already gone, so why should I even take some moment to reflect? That's the behavior of the Patriotic Front. And Ushekwena Mayo, etuwa alolela ko. And the woman answers to say, Nifinshindelo kwati bakabwera. Atina chipwana vaya. So then PF, it's business as usual.
Yeah,
but of course the UPND on the other hand, it's not many days, but it shows that somebody paused and said, let us reflect a little bit. I think that is a sign of leadership. I don't know what you think, General. That is a sign of leadership.
Well, I was broken on that day, and I think that's how HH was broken on that day. And the best way was for us to pause. For me, I paused from Thursday over the weekend. I tried to reflect. I tried to do all the things I could think about KK. I could hear his voice. I took the albums or the photographs I have just to reflect. And I think that's what he did. Let's pause.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm very grateful that HH decided to do that. Let's pause and then start planning for the rest of the morning period.
Okay, so there are several announcements that the Vice President gave us today. In Efyonde Pusha, you know, because takwaba mismanagement, yeah, simple common sense into how people can just mismanage things. So there are several announcements, General. I'm going to go with the first one. The first one is that the Vice President is saying that the Kaunda family has decided to inter the remains of the founding father at what they are calling the presidential burial ground.
I don't know. I think I must think of what I'm going to say very, very carefully. Okay? Mama Betty was buried at a certain place, which is not the presidential burial place.
Right.
Dr. Kaunda must have a will. And the will and the wish of the family must be respected. The question is, have they consulted these people? Do they know Dr. Kaunda's will?
No. The Vice President is the one who is saying that it is the Kaunda family who wishes. Excuse me.
Well, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something, our viewers? Wait for the family statement tomorrow then. Wait for the family statement tomorrow for you to prove whether what Inonge is saying is correct or wrong. Wait for their statement tomorrow.
Right.
And the views which I'm giving you are my views. That if I was to die after my wife, I would be buried next to my wife. And they would also follow my will, not the will and the wish of Edikwa Chagwalungu and Inonge. No, it's the family's will. So you will hear the wish of the family tomorrow.
All right. Now, me, I'm not willing to wait. General and other listeners can wait. As far as I'm concerned, the presidential burial site is already full and congested. It's a very small place, for goodness sake. It's like how many? 400 by 400? It's not even a kilometer squared. It's already congested. So instead of burying Kenneth Kaunda at that little congested place, let Kenneth Kaunda be buried at his farm at the lodge where there is enough space and you can create another tourist place if you can. And then you leave the presidential, so-called presidential for commoners like the rest.
Dr. Kaunda was the first president. I'm not underrating the rest of the presidents. I'm not underrating Chiluba. I'm not underrating Manawasa. I'm not. But President Kaunda was our first president. Right. And I think let his will be respected. And if I had my way, I would bury him next to his wife.
Right.
Because I'm not saying I'm not saying, because I visited him. I visited him after his wife died. And as I remember discussing this with him. It was a private discussion.
Right.
But I would be very, very shocked. I will be very, very shocked tomorrow if this family comes up and say, no, they want him buried somewhere else.
Right.
I will be very shocked. So what I'm saying to our viewers is wait for the spokesperson of the family tomorrow. I don't know who will speak on behalf of the family. Whether it's the big guy himself or whether he will appoint one of his young brothers or sisters, I don't know. The family is speaking out tomorrow.
Okay.
So listen to what they want to say.
So I think there is more sense in burying him at his designated place, really, for me. I don't think that little square for presidential burials, it's already full. It has got 3 big mausoleums already. And so how are you going to create another mausoleum? You know? And then we've got already three living presidents at the moment. Is it 2 living presidents? And by August, we might have a new president. And so the place is already congested. It's better to begin looking for other places. And I think it makes sense for President Dr. Kenneth Kaunda to be interred at his farm and create a whole mausoleum at that place. Which can be run by both the Zambian government and the Kaunda family, because Kenneth Kaunda does not just belong to Zambia. Kenneth Kaunda belongs to Southern Africa, and so there could be other cooperating partners who might be interested in the story of Kenneth Kaunda.
Yeah,
like the way Ramaphosa came in. As far as Ramaphosa or Mbeki, as far as they are concerned, there is no story of South Africa without the story of Kenneth Kaunda. Never.
Impossible. If you wanted to put up a museum, Kaunda Museum, how would you put it? I mean, let's tell our viewers this. The Zimbabweans have got what they call the Heroes Acre. It's a massive piece of land which was well planned. Big piece of land where they wanted to agree to put their heroes. It's not a little piece of land like that which we have in Lusaka, where we didn't really think.
No.
And if we were to put a museum, Kaunda's museum, where would we build it? And for me, it makes sense to turn his house into a mausoleum and an actual museum where people can go and visit.
Brilliant idea.
It can be a tourist place for people from Botswana, from Namibia, from Angola, from everywhere to actually go.
Abana tabalelwile nganda. Ifo fweba ushumuntu alefu afie ni jifyongo fya.
Well,
Shishi abenga Malawi, but ifwebo kulwa pula. Yeah, ulefu afie. Before no bushika taulatara no gutarala na batampa kokupiana. So maybe we don't know, but it's a brilliant idea that you're asking whether they can turn the house into Kenneth Kaunda's historical museum. That would be good.
Yeah. Well, the Kaunda family are sensible people.
Right.
The ones I'm close to are very sensible people. And I don't think they would fight over a house.
These are not General Chipakupaku's words. If Yandi. So, kubena kambarage, abena kaweche, nabapanji. We expect total reasonability from all of you. Bantu naifo, we have a share in Kenneth Kaunda. Mwimona kwati, it's just about you. We all have a share in Kenneth David Kaunda. Naifo wesu. Chokanshu, we expect that it's going to be peaceful if it's necessary that his house is donated to the museum or it's sold to the museum. Let it be. If other partners like South African ANC people, because they can't let the story of Kenneth Kaunda to disappear. If our government, this Patriotic Front government, completely forgot Kaunda for about, is it 3 or 4 hours on ZNBC? Kaunda nafwa. ZNBC is playing cartoons, and playing Alebwe na Papa Mpando. Kaunda is dead. Kenneth David Kaunda nafwa. On ZNBC, to play Alebwe na Papa Mpando. Anyway, I don't even know how I got here. General, please correct me.
No. I want us to come back. The last 4 days, I've been reflecting on Kaunda, the man, what he did, how he was treated after 1991. Did you know, Zambians, that the first person who wanted Kaunda deported to Malawi was our late president, Sata? May his soul rest in peace. Did you know that when they arrested Kaunda on Christmas Day, one of those people who were dancing in parliament was Edith Nawakwi, saying Kaunda alala. And these are the same people who are coming today to praise this man and tell us he was a hero. I call that hypocrisy of the worst order. I call it hypocrisy, because these are the same people who were ordering people to go and search Panji's house, thinking there were bombs at Panji's farm in Sidamsale. These are the same people who said Kaunda had stolen $7 billion. These are the same people who arrested Kaunda on Christmas Day. Munsha, I was on holiday in Malawi that time. When I heard Kaunda had been arrested, there were no mobile phones that time. I started off from Malawi to Lusaka.
No, General, I do understand. Kenneth Kaunda, of course, there will be a lot of stories that will be told. Let's not go back to those grievances.
No. I want our viewers to hear this, because that is the truth. So some of these people who are now praising Kaunda are the same people who persecuted him. But let's go back. Let's go back to his burial. My view is that he should be buried next to his dear wife Betty,
right,
who was our first lady. And do you want me to say something else?
Please go ahead.
My view, which I've made it very, very clear, don't take Kaunda's body, flying it all over the country. Kaunda flew all over the whole country. He was in every district before he died. There's no point. We've got COVID, but it's also there's no point. I know why civil servants want to do that. It's allowances. They want night allowances. Now PF, that's what they want, night allowances, because the Secretary General of the PF will want to be there, to be seen to be there. That's what they're interested in. No. And my prayer is that the Kaunda family tomorrow should say no.
To flying the body.
No need. No need. First of all, we have COVID. Secondly, what are we taking Kaunda to do in the districts when there will be no body viewing? What's the point of Kaunda going to Solwezi when he has been there many times? What's the point?
Right.
What's the point of going to Chipata? I personally received Kaunda in Chipata more than 50 times in Chipata. The times I remember. I remember receiving him with Kamuzu Banda in Chipata. So what is Kaunda's body going to do in Chipata?
Particularly that there is no body viewing.
Yeah. Why? What's the point? Let me tell you why they want to take the body there. One is because of allowances, Musha. Two is because they want to use Kaunda's body as a campaign tool. PF, stop it. Don't do that.
Right.
Kaunda should now be above politics. He should be above Zambian politics.
Right.
I hope I've delivered my message.
But they say that it will be the military conducting church services. So you'll be in Choma, the military will be there to conduct the service. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Now, where are these military from? They're from Lusaka, where there's COVID. So they'll be planting COVID to everywhere they go. In Chipata, COVID. In Solwezi, COVID. In Moongu, COVID. In Kasama, there'll be COVID. What do these people really think? What is the cost? They will have to fly to probably 3 aircrafts to carry all these people who will be praying and carry all the PF guys and all the PF ministers. You will see them there. How about the family? How much will that cost? They are better off spending that money building a mausoleum for Dr. Kaunda, and they are better off spending up money for us to start thinking how we'll honor this man after the burial. For me, I think we must, like what HH has done today, declare the 28th of April as a national holiday, KK Day.
Right. Right.
That's what I can say.
And because KK and Chiluba were both born in the same month, maybe they can share a day as a sign of total unity, because there is seriously, there were issues, but yeah, between KK and Chiluba. So because they were all born in April, we can have a KK Chiluba day as a sign of unity. Maybe that can work.
What will be the motto then? Because KK's day, I would say, is one Zambia, one nation. Would the Chiluba fit into one Zambia, one nation thing? Really?
Why not? Now we need one Zambia, one nation.
I don't know. I think they should let them declare a half day for Chiluba, a holiday as well.
I don't believe this. What? Half day?
Yeah. For me, I'm speaking as Norman Chipakpak. This is the man who arrested us, man. This is the man who took Kaunda to Mkoweko. So sorry, Munsha. I know I irritate you about this. Chiluba never respected Kaunda. If he did respect him, he should have never taken him to jail.
Yeah.
He should have never. He should have detained him at his house. He was forced to confine him at his house because the whole world had turned against Chiluba.
Okay. General, one of these days, I want us to pay tribute to Frederick Chiluba. It's been 10 years, and just over the weekend, it was an anniversary of the 10th anniversary. So we need to pay tribute to that as well, because even if you say that Chiluba did whatever he did, but so did Dr. Kaunda, and so when we are celebrating these lives, we know that they really had weaknesses, and there's several other people who can come over the 27 years of the Kaunda administration that were imprisoned, state of emergency. So we want to balance legacy.
I would love to celebrate Chiluba's. One thing he did was to sort of open up the economy, which is good.
Right.
And if you are talking about people dying, my friend Penza died. Wezi died. My friend Kamima, who was Director General of OP, died. We don't know how these people died. The lawyer to Kaunda died. So anyway, those are my own views. Chiluba had his own good things.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to talk about Chiluba from my military background and what we knew about Chiluba. Who funded Chiluba's campaign? Because Chiluba had no money. We know, some of us. Okay? Okay. So if we want to talk about Chiluba, let's give him some respect. He was our second president. You can't take that away from him. Right. But let's not mix Chiluba and KK, because there are two different scales there.
All right. Okay. Now, so we have, because here on TV Bakwetu General, we are also guiding, right? So our guidance is leave KK to be buried anywhere. Anywhere KK is buried, you can turn it into a national monument. Stop interfering with the presidential site. Bena Pafwa epo baka bashike. But KK, let him go and be put to rest next to his wife. Then we can turn the entire area into something else, run by the Kaunda family, run by our cooperating partners. That's very clear. You are also advising, we are advising the government to drop these plans of using Kenneth Kaunda as a pretext to spread COVID-19 all over Zambia.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense. If Mr. Mr. Lung wants to tour and mourn on behalf of Zambians, let him tour. He has been touring. Let him go to all the provinces and mourn. That's fine.
And you start with Choma.
Yeah, he can start with Choma. Yeah, he can start with Choma and then fly to all the provinces there, mourn. Take his guys who are going to pray with him from the military. That will be fine. Leave Kaunda's body in Lusaka, for goodness sake.
Right. Now, after we've dealt with these matters, General, our people continue to die of COVID-19 in Zambia.
The biggest shocker after Kaunda was the this Chief Justice's death. It's still a shocker. It's still a puzzle to me. And to hear that she died in Egypt, and nobody told us she was ill, and we're told she went on business, and then we know that we revealed that the presidential plane was in Egypt, and I'm left with, I don't know what to say. What is PF hiding from Zambians? And at the same time, Zambians, I'm not saying the Chief Justice died from COVID, but COVID is real.
Yeah.
It's real. There are a lot of issues about the death of the Chief Justice. What happened?
Right.
Why in Egypt?
Now, according to the official position from the Secretary to Cabinet, who is also the principal private secretary to the President, already that is very confusing. Secretary to Cabinet, also who is also principal private secretary to the President. Gosh. Ichichisomo mwebo ifite tuntulu mwimona kwati tulandalanda fye mama kateka afuira kwata a very busy principal private secretary nomba oliawina principal private secretary is also secretary to the cabinet running the entire civil service, and then following the hospitalization, we understand, of the chief spokesperson of State House, this very principal private secretary is also the one who is issuing press statements on behalf of the presidency.
Yeah. And the question, Musha, is what is happening to the spokesman? What is his condition? Nobody knows. Nobody has told us whether he's still in the hospital or not.
Okay. So he issues a statement and says that Chief Justice Irene Mambilima, may her soul rest in peace, was in Cairo on official government duties where she passed away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, really strange. And to me, there are many questions to be asked there. So many questions. There are more questions than answers, as one of the artists said. More questions. There are more questions than answers, Bane. Why? Why Cairo? When did she go to Cairo? What was the business in Cairo?
Because the Zambian judiciary, because our judiciary in Zambia follows the common law system. I know Egypt also follows the common law system, but it's slightly different. Because countries such as Egypt, even if they are common law, they are also Sharia.
Sharia, yeah.
They are slightly different. So when we say that, what was happening there? Because you don't expect that a Zambian Chief Justice would be on duty in Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt was a Commonwealth country, yeah, but they have Sharia, Arabic law, and Sharia law as well. The question was, what was our Chief Justice doing there? When did she go? And what happened? What happened there when she was there on business?
Do we deserve answers?
They will not give us those answers, but I think Zambians deserve to. She is our Chief Justice. We deserve to know the answers. We need to know.
And so the other question is, what was the presidential jet doing in Cairo? Was it used to evacuate her to Cairo?
Well, when the story of the jet, first of all, let's tell our viewers, every aircraft which takes over from any airport in the world, you can track it. You can tell. That's why the other week, I was asking you the other week. That other week, remember I said, where's the Challenger jet? I wanted you guys to wake up. Any aircraft which takes off from any airport is tracked. So when we found out that the aircraft had left Lusaka and went to Egypt, people had said it. But PF, as usual, said propaganda from PF, from UPND. I said, no, it's not propaganda. That aircraft really went to Egypt. So we don't know. Did they take the aircraft there to bring her body back? Did they rush her to Egypt for treatment? What happened? We don't know. I think it's the spokesman, since the president can't speak, it's the spokesperson who's the secretary to the cabinet and now spokesperson to the president who should tell us what happened.
May her soul rest in peace. Irene Chirwa Mambilima, born 31st March 1952, passed away on June 20, 2021. a trailblazer in her own right. Of course, there is a dispute about whether she was the first female Chief Justice. In my opinion, Lombe Chiwe Sakunda, even if Lombe Chiwe Sakunda was acting for 3 years, I would give that honor to her to have been Zambia's first female Chief Justice. But some of my friends say no, because she was just acting for 3 years, that honor should go to Irene Mambilima, Chief Justice Irene Mambilima. Well, that's okay. So we've lost a very huge tradition there.
Yeah, it's a big gap. It's a very, very big loss. Chief Justice, especially that she's died a few days after KK's death. It's a big shock for the whole country. And it's a big shock for the judiciary as well. And the question now is what's going to happen? Who's going to be our Chief Justice? And whatever happens, the new Chief Justice has to be named by the coming president. So it's a big, big, big loss. But
for now, since we do have a Deputy Chief Justice, Musonda, what is his name?
Yeah, there's an acting, there's the Deputy Chief Justice who will act for some time, I think.
Yeah, so that should be covered. We don't expect any problems in that regard. Yeah, I think those are some of the issues that have happened. Several other people have died. Levi Sakala, General. Levi Sakala was a musician with the Sakala brothers. He also passed away. He was buried over the weekend. And there is a song that I remember him by, known as Kalebalika.
Kalebalika, yeah.
Kalebalika mwana wande. Konsoko lea Kalebalika. Ganshako ete chirea, kana chimimbira general. Nombo mlando wa chirea, I'll hold myself back.
Yeah. And then the Inspector General Mateo as well.
Mateo, yeah. There were some rumors that Malimba Mashek had also passed on, but I think those were unverified rumors.
No, what I can say is that Malimba Mashek is not well, but he hasn't passed on. If he had, I would have told you. Right. But he is not well. That's why I couldn't bring him on. We couldn't bring him on Thursday. Right. Because I really wanted to bring him on. I wanted to bring in VJ on, but VJ was in a very bad state after the death of Kaunda. And I couldn't bring RB because RB was out for his treatment as usual. So Mashek is still alive. He's not well, but he's still alive.
Right. And in the coming days, we have a 21-day mourning period. We are going to bring 1 or 2 people to talk about the legacy of Kenneth David Buchizia Kaunda. And it's a very long story. And now that the NPC has opened up, they're playing Kaunda's history, I think there will be a lot of history to learn.
Well, Scotta Wiener is still there. He can talk to us. We can still find some of the old people who can tell us what they think about Kaunda. Wiener is still there. I think I forgot on Thursday to mention his name. He's still alive. Remember the 2 Wiener brothers? So we still have people like that who can still tell us about what they think and what they saw, what happened. People like Velumanga himself, RB. I think if RB is feeling well one of these days, it would be nice to hear from him, from Rakwet. Moshe, are we winding up? Yes. I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever heard of a medical term called scrotum hernia? Because I was looking in the dictionary trying to find out what it means. I don't know, Musha. Because people have been asking me, I couldn't answer the question. So probably our viewers can tell me.
You've taken me completely by surprise. Now, you shouldn't take me by surprise like this. No.
I think we should bring Dr. Mjanjati to come and tell us what that means. Because I can't find the meaning. I think the Aaron Mjanjati doctor, please, let's appeal to him. He should come and tell us.
I am mourning. I don't expect to begin Googling about scrotum hernia.
No, that's what I'm saying. After the funeral, after the burial of KK, let's bring the doctor to explain so that we avoid. You know, me, I want to avoid. If it's a serious problem, I want to avoid it.
General,
well, our viewers, Munsha is gone. So really, we will bring the doctor after the burial of KK. I think the most important thing is that the next few days, as we mourn our old man, the shock was there. It's slowly going away.
No, General, not so fast. You can't move out of this topic so fast. I'm not going to let you. Okay?
Why not?
You started this story, and now you want to change the topic back to the mourning. We've already exhausted that issue. Now we've got to deal with scrotum hernia.
Munsha, are you planning to bring Dr. Mjajati Aaron? That would be lovely. Because for me, I'm getting very worried. I'm getting questions from people I don't know. I want to avoid it. If I can avoid it, I want to avoid it. So
okay.
What are you suggesting then, Munsha?
All right. What I'm saying, and I want to be very clear, that where do I even start? I really think that the gentleman who started the story of hernia, scrotum hernia, really did a great disservice to the people of Zambia, you know, because even if we are all sick as a people, we rarely should reveal other people's perceived sicknesses. Because that's not cool.
No, for me, I want to know what it is so that I can avoid it. And I also agree with you that you don't talk about somebody's medical condition in public. It's bad manners, and I think it's
not even a medical condition, because I don't think a person. I'm not a medical doctor, but is there a medical situation there?
No, that's what I want to hear from a real doctor, not you, Munsha. No, not you. I want to hear from a real doctor to tell me whether there's a condition called that. And then what causes it, what happens, how can you have it treated? Those are the three things I want. Because in case I have it, I should know how to treat it.
Yeah. Mwatureterera mwama umulomo general mwama umulomo wa abantu ewatureterera, because these people would say this person, and yet they daily go to visit this gentleman. No mana yanaba kwana kani mokali sopoka poka mo no confidentiality kanshinga ka sopoka evere iwe walisa on this and this particular day. This was your problem, and naliko afuili share and so alana to say bana.
Munsha, that's why I would rather phone Munsha. If I've got a headache, I'll phone Munsha or Dr. Aaron Mjanjata. He will tell me the truth. I will never consult some of these people, Munsha. I promise you. I think even my children know that, my family know. I would rather go to a real doctor like Dr. Aaron Mjanjata, because I know he will tell me the truth. When you start going to see these guys, they will reveal the truth. They will reveal everything about you.
So, Bola ninena poseshe. Syphilis ninena poseshe. Nango no to swende ninena poseshe. That's
to say nkabula kanyere tinka tulep. That's the problem here. That's so I'm really worried about this. No, I'm really worried. I want to know what it is, avoid it, and men, please avoid it. Scrotal hernia, avoid it by all means if you can.
No, but the other thing is, our people, we are a Christian nation, but we like Okuya Munganga general. It's amazing how many Zambians like going Kunganga.
Contradiction, serious contradiction. How can you believe in God, Christ, and at the same time, kunganga. People who will know about your scrotum hernia. Why don't you go to the hospital? Why do you call yourself Christians and yet you do some of these things that I don't understand it, Munch. I really don't.
Atisha anita tapomule pia tamumfuire ukuimenena fuaka yafuma mythology because of pretense. It's very sad. If we are a Christian nation, to chefia nieko munganga. I believe, you see, that's why that's why Buten wanted to outlaw Nganga. But what I said was, no, leaving Nganga alone. However, we need to educate our people. You know, this idea you can go and see a prophet, you can go and see a traditional doctor. All that is not true.
What is shocking, Musha, is to see that something we did in Parliament. I'm now asking myself, what happened in Parliament? What really happened? If they can talk about scrotum hernia and Parliament, really, what else happened? I'm now inquisitive. I want to know what happened.
Right. It's amazing.
So, it's amazing, Musha. A Christian country. Here we are as a Christian country, and yet we pretend to be Christians. What we do at night is something else. No, you are not Christians. You are not a Christian.
So tuleke Nganga.
Stop it.
Okay, nangu tuchefia nieko. Maybe immediate mulekere de bantu mulibabu afya. Muchefia nieko ifia kuikata. Vogwira. How do you say it in Yanja General? Vogwira.
Vokatakata. Muleke vokatakata.
Muleke vokatakata. Christian.
Na vo varavala. Va maring. Mzenda ka gula maring aso on. Don't wear funny ring.
Alaboafia. Anyway, I think we've got to end here. Bantu, you caught me completely off guard. I'm a very, very prepared person. But when I'm caught off guard, I couldn't resist.
No, Musha, I think Thursday was really emotional. Now we've now really accepted that the old man is gone. Yeah. I would love us to give him a fantastic, honorable and respected, dignified send-off.
Yeah.
But the question of throwing his body all over the country, I'm saying no.
Right.
Me personally. But let's wait for this family tomorrow. The idea of flying his body around, no. Secondly, my view, bury him next to his wife.
Right.
But let's hear what the family says.
All right. tiende pamoja mtima abantu, tiende pamoja tiende pamoja mtima Kenneth Kaunda's song. This song is going to be remembered as Kenneth Kaunda's song. All right. We've got to sign off, General. Thank you very much for joining us today. We continue to mourn President Kenneth Kaunda, and we look forward to the family statement tomorrow. Whatever the case, we are one Zambia, one nation, and we'll continue coming to you as long as the Lord gives us the grace. Your last words, General.
Musha, this is my morning shirt. I will wear this shirt until the day they will bury KK. This is my morning shirt, and I just want to say thank you so much, Zambians, for your outpouring. Thank you so much for your stories. Those of you who have got photographs, videos, let's share them. Let's share them so that we remember this great man, but also let's remember what this man has taught us. To me, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Remember to do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Remember that you save your country and be a patriot. That message there, to me, that's what I'll hang on to.
Thank you for having joined us on TV Bakwetu. I am signing off here. Thank you very much. Elias Moshe here with Mr. Norman Chipakupaku. Good night, God bless you, and God bless our country. Make a date with us another time.